So, your name is John. Hey guys, welcome back to TutsByKai. Dude, why can't I ever speak anymore, bro? You know, it's because it's cold. That's what I'm blaming it on, the cold. Welcome back to TutsByKai. I'm Kai, and today we're back once again. And today we're doing something that I don't do very often. And that's paint. I haven't painted like an actual image, like digital art painting in a long time. And I've actually never done it this way. And I'll explain more as the video goes on. But essentially, I did a portrait of Catwoman because I'm a huge Batman fan, if you do not know. And it started off as me just doing a little doodle, just a little sketch. And the more and more I started seeing how it was coming out, the more I wanted to do line art. And then after I did the line art, I said, this doesn't feel right as line art because it felt too, I don't know, personal. It felt too, like, it didn't feel like a line art kind of, you know, piece. I'm not gonna lie. So I was like, what would this be like if I shade this, if I actually paint this? And the funny thing is that, like I said, I never do this. I haven't painted an image in years. And like I said, I've never done it like this. And what I mean by that is that this is probably the most like shading I've ever done. Like, if you've been following the channel for a while, if you've seen any of the like 2D digital art pieces that I've drawn in the past, that's basically kind of how I've always drawn. It's always been like the kind of like line art, you know, cartoony style, you know, with the vibrant colors and the hard lines and the whatever else, you know. It's kind of always been like that. I've never really painted. I believe it or not, I know it sounds like, oh no way, this guy's lying, he's fibbing, he's selling little fibs. Believe it or not, I've actually really never painted, genuinely, digital art wise or regular wise. So this was kind of a shock to me. And the more I continued going, I was like, where is this coming from in my body? I don't know what's going on. I was like, how am I doing this? Like, so much how I wanted it to come out. I think it came out pretty well. And I did not think that I had that in me. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, what the hell? I thought it was like, you know, it's like the ghost of I don't know, a painter or something. I couldn't think of a painter right now. Oh no. Michelangelo. There you go. Sorry. But I genuinely did really enjoy making this. And I think for the most part, the biggest piece that was worrying me is that the colors wouldn't look right. I was worried about the colors and the shading for the most part, of course, but you'll see here with the sketch, I'm kind of just going through, and I did two sketches actually. So if you're trying to, you know, if you're trying to keep up, I did an initial sketch, and then I did a more harder sketch, which was actually technically just my line art, but because I decided to paint this entire piece, I'm gonna call it a second sketch. But what I did here, I want to actually explain this real quick. I actually filled the entire thing in solid gray, and then I used a clipping mask in Krita, and I put my color on top of the clipping mask. Now, I'll probably do it. If you need a tutorial for that, like, literally just comment below, yo, tell me about the clipping mask more, please, because I don't understand. And I'll do like a separate thing, but I'll show you how to do it like specifically. But it's basically just you right click and then create, I think it's group clipping mask, I think, clipping, something like that, I think. Anything you paint on that layer will stay within whatever is under it, which is why I painted the big gray thing, and then now I'm painting on a layer above the gray thing, so all of this color does not go outside of the gray, basically. And about right now, as I'm painting this, I started going, okay, wow, what the hell? This actually looks kind of good. What's going on here? Because like I said, I don't paint. I'm a 2D flat artist. That's what I do. And then of course, you know, I make Blender, which is 3D, but that's not the same. I don't paint. I don't do this. I don't like render things out like this. Like, this is very alien to me. And it was just going super well. So like, okay, you know, let's give it a little go. So then I continued, and I got obsessed with the nose area, because not because I did it first, but just because I really liked the way it came out. The shading on the top of her cowl looks really cool as well. But for the lips, I started to freak out a little bit because I didn't know how to make it look like the lips were blended with her face. Like, it kind of looked like they were just too prominent, too sharp, too whatever. And I actually fixed that later on by smudging her makeup a little bit and doing a couple of things to soften things and stuff. But the other thing I was worrying about right now, I think right now I'm actually eating chips, to be honest with you. That's why nothing's moving. I'm gonna be honest. I'm pretty sure that's why nothing's happening right now. It's just a little break, you know, just a little break skis. That was, by the way, this footage is so sped up. That was about 12 minutes, just so you're aware. What you just witnessed, me pausing right there, was about 12 minutes to like 23 minutes, by the way, just in case you're wondering. I have this footage on 3,000% speed because I was painting this for, I think, around 4 hours, 3 hours, I think, 3-4 hours, I believe. I can't remember entirely, but it was something around that there, I think. But I'm not entirely sure. I might have to check. I don't know. But with the lips, I didn't really know how to make the texture that I really wanted, so I started going a little crazy, but then I was like, less is more. So then I only did one pass of lines, one dark, one light, and then I put a little shine on the top and the bottom, which was nice. And you can see I just put the smudging on her lipstick as well, which I thought was really cool. The neck I was really happy to do because I actually really like drawing necks because I love the little what are they called, the tendons that you have in your neck, like when you tense your neck up. If you do it right now, you'll see what I'm saying. When you tense your neck, those tendons, those two big tendons in the front that come out, I love those, and I love drawing those, even like just flat wise or whatever else. The nose ring I thought was really cool because me personally, I feel like Catwoman would have a nose ring. Be honest with you, I feel like she'd have one. So I was like, why not? Well, let me just do it. Why not? I feel like she would. You know, it has like a thief kind of vibe to it because it looks like, you know, that's the jewelry that she stole maybe. So like, okay, that works perfectly because I mean, Catwoman's always depicted stealing jewels and jewelry and stuff. So I thought it worked really, really well. For her actual cat suit and the cowl, I wanted to change the proportions a bit for her head. As you saw, I just kind of did that. And I was super worried that her head would look too tall because her head's obviously tilted down a little bit. So I wanted to make sure that it didn't look too long, you know. So I actually played around with that for a while. No, excuse me, just yawned. It's really cold in my apartment. So it's 44 degrees outside right now, and it's not much warmer inside because I do not have any heat. Okay, dude, this bit with the cowl here, this is the part that actually made me stop and go, wait a minute, I can paint. Hold on, what the hell's going on? Because I was doing all this and I just really loved the material texture that I gave it, and then I did the stitching. And I wasn't going to do stitching, I had no plans on doing stitching really, but I decided to do it on a whim because of the heavy inspiration I was taking from Catwoman in Batman 1989, or not 1989, it was Batman 2, so technically, but in the original Batman with Michael Keaton, Catwoman had stitching on her cat suit, and I thought it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen, and I do genuinely believe every Catwoman should have stitching like that because she made the suit herself, and she's very unstable, and the stitching makes it look like, you know, if the stitching's done badly, then it looks really, really cool. And I really, really liked it, so I had to make sure that I put that in. And I thought of it last second as well, so I thought that was a nice little touch. The texture that I gave the cowl looks really, really cool, and I really enjoy like the way it looks like her hair is kind of bunched up underneath it, you know? Okay, for the eyes. I have a little story about the eyes here. Initially, when I put the line art on, you can see that there's a thick black, like, looks like her eyelashes, right? Thick black, yeah, that thing right there. Thick black outline with the wisps on the edge, and they look like her eyelashes are, you know, trailing off. That's actually not meant to be her actual eyelashes. I wanted it to be lenses. So initially I wanted it to be like, imagine Spider-Man's eyeballs, like how he has the thick black outline around the lens, but I wanted to make it so that, like, imagine Spider-Man's lenses, but the lenses are gone, and the only thing that remains is the black outline around his eye, if that makes sense. So I wanted that to be what her cowl was, where the black outlines that looked like they were eyelashes weren't actual eyelashes, and she just designed them to be like that, and that was actually like part of her suit. Like that was like a part of the material that's on her suit. So I wasn't initially going to add like a space where you can see like her skin tone around the eyelashes, because it's not actually supposed to be eyelashes. But then after I did it, I was like, it doesn't really look how I wanted it to, and I didn't think it was very clear what it was. I probably could have made it look a little more clear, but I really wanted to see what it would look like if I could add shading around her eyes to kind of set her eyes back more. So I actually decided to go ahead and do that. But the main reason I wanted to add the pockets of skin where you could see, like, and cut her eye holes actually out was because I wanted to draw her hair. I wanted to draw her hair, and I was like, no, I won't. But then I did. So I, cut it all away. I made a hole for her eye, and then I drew her hair, which I really wanted to do. And I wanted to draw her hair because I've always had this kind of weird thing with Catwoman's hair. I think Selena Kyle's hair is very cool because she's one of the only like female characters in something that I can think of, really hero or villain, that has short hair in most depictions. I think it's really cool she has short hair because not many female characters from Marvel or DC do. Like, most of them have super long hair, like Wonder Woman, Supergirl, Black Widow, any superhero or villain or anyone you can think of, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, they all have longer hair. Not many have short hair. So I always thought it was cool every time I see Catwoman with super short hair, because in a lot of depictions it's like to her head. Like, it's like her hair is so like cut down, it's like basically not really coming off of her head too much, and I think that's really cool for some reason. So I wanted to paint her hair because I wanted you to see her hair kind of does that. It's kind of like to her head. It's not really super long. Also, I think I just added a bunch more texture to like the cowl itself, like the front where the forehead is on the top of the head. The texture I added on the top of her head looks, I'm for some reason obsessed with it. Like the little lines I put up there. Don't know why. I'm just really obsessed with it. I also think her eyes are really cool. I kind of skipped over that because I was talking about something else, but I really like the fact that her eyes are cat eyes, if you didn't notice that. I think that's super cool. I looked at a bunch of pictures of Catwoman, and just to see if any depictions had cat eyes, like actual, like, eye slits, not like actual pupils, and I couldn't find any of them. I couldn't find a singular version in any comic book, anything that I have missed throughout the years, because I mean, like I said, I'm a huge Batman fan, but I haven't seen every single picture of Catwoman, obviously, so I had to search for it, and I don't think I saw one version where her eyes were actually cat eyes. So if you know a version of Catwoman where she has, like, her pupils are actually cat eyes, then definitely let me know in the comments, because I actually want to know if that is a version that's like that. And then for her eyeliner, like you just saw, I actually messed that up as well, along with her lipstick, because again, Catwoman is very unstable. So I feel like she would constantly be either crying or just, blubbering or whatever, but she doesn't want people to see, so she always tries to stop, but then she doesn't ever fix her makeup because she is unstable. So I think that's very, very cool. And I remember Michelle Pfeiffer, I think it was, in Michael Keaton's Batman, had her makeup messed up as well for a little bit, and I think that's very cool as well. So with the actual suit here, okay, this is what I was kind of worried about, because my extent for shading goes pretty extensively, because I mean, just because I don't paint most of the time, I am still an artist. I am still a digital artist, so a lot of it transfers over from 2D and from 3D, actually, just studying so much light and studying how things work and whatnot. So I wasn't too worried, but then as soon as I started, I got a little worried about the overlap of her arms with her torso. So the issue that I was having was I didn't want it to look the way that it looks right now, and obviously it's not done right now, so it's not, it's nothing in the world, but I didn't want it to look how it looks right now, because how it looks right now, to me, it looks like she just has a bunch of cylindrical pipes under her, like, under her cat suit right now, which is not what I wanted. So I had to figure out a way to make it look a little less bulbous, which I think I did a pretty decent job of. And of course, just like any art, there's always, no art is perfect, and I really enjoy the way it came out, which is all that matters. But I do think I want to get a little bit better of like that angle with the shoulder. You'll see once it's done, but I want to get that angle with the shoulder a little bit better in the future. Figure out how to hit some better, I don't know, not lighting, but what I would say, like, I guess it's just the shading on her shoulder. Oh my gosh, excuse me, dude, it's so cold, bro. I'm so sorry. I also tried to implement the zipper back in, because I had it in the the line art, but I just didn't like it in the paint. I don't know what it was. I didn't like it, so I wanted to keep everything smooth. And then I decided something that really set this off would be to add the stitching onto her actual suit as well, not just on her cowl, which I think really helped it. And then of course had to do the lighting, had to do the backlight, the shading, and all that whatnot, which is my favorite part of any piece: 2D, 3D, digital art, painting, whatever. I think the wrinkles here really helped sell this, and I think this is what really pulled it together. That's what I was missing the entire time, and once I did that, I wanted to make sure it looked like her chest was actually, you know, not a part of her arm, which is what I did. Darken that up a bit, you know, add a little bit more texture here and there, and then there you have it. Bob's your uncle. That's basically the end-all be-all there, and I genuinely believe I love the way this turned out. The texturing on her arm really helped all that. The texturing on the cat suit and whatnot. I really enjoy this. There's not a piece of this that I don't like. I think I like every single bit of it. And I'm just really happy it came out the way that it did. I think if there's one thing, I think her neck looks kind of thick when you look at it, a little too long. But hey, maybe this version of Catwoman just has a very thick neck. You never know, you know what I mean? But yeah, the eyes, the nose, the top of her head, the ears, all that stuff, I really enjoy the way this one came out. And after this, and now that I see that I'm actually have the ability to do things like this and have them come out somewhat decent, at least, we'll definitely be painting more here on the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, man. I'll see you guys next time. But until then, bye bye.